Leaving Aberlour and all of Wales behind, Andrew and Christine exchanged the gloomy, coal dust-laden skies of the mining country for the grey fog of London. Far from being overwhelmed by the teeming life of the great metropolis, Andrew is filled with elation and expectancy. With Christine beside him, he's certain of achieving success. And Christine herself is proudly convinced that little time will pass before her husband's name becomes famous. Several months go by, and in his office, next door to Schmidt's delicatessen store, Andrew sits and waits, as he's done all that day and the day before and the days before that.
Hello, darling. How'd it go today?
Yesterday, I lanced a boil and vaccinated a baby. The day before, I painted a sore throat, cured an ingrowing toenail. And today, I treated 3 girls from Laurier's dress shop for chapped hands. Is this what I starved and sweated and borrowed money to study medicine for?
Patience, darling, patience.
I'd like a lot of them, rich ones. We'd better have a few soon. In the last 4 weeks, we've taken exactly 4 pounds 10, including this morning's 7 and 6, for piercing Madam's ears for earrings.
7 and 6? Exorbitant for piercing ears, my good man. But now we can pay something on our bill at Mrs. Schmidt's and order another apple strudel without a qualm. Hello, Doctor, and the Mrs. Doctor.
Good day, Mrs. Schmidt. 2 sandwiches, please, the specials.
But of course. Clara, up on the icebox, the special liverwurst and the corned beef. She'll bring it right in, my Clara. She's getting to be a big girl, isn't she? Yes, they all do. They grow up. You will see someday. Only they should stay healthy. Amen to that. Oh, you fixed the patient I sent to you for the earrings?
Oh, it was very easy, and thanks for thinking of me.
Oh, we'll send you lots of patients. You just wait. And now I get the sandwiches. Clara.
I don't know how I'll pay you back unless I put all my patients on a diet of pumpernickel and pickles.
She's such a nice person.
Not much fun for a youngish woman, a growing girl and her husband dead in this neighborhood.
People are nice, Andrew, when they're themselves.
Let's amend that. When they're allowed to be themselves.
Amendment accepted. Gosh, I wish they'd hurry with the food. I could... Doctor, I told you lots of patients. At your door, a girl from Laurier's. Someone there is sick. Quickly, you go with her.
Chris, I don't...
You go on. Do you heard, Mrs. Schmidt? Patients, lots of them.
That's more like it.
I want to go home.
I'm sorry. It was the only way, and it worked.
It worked. Take me home.
Now, that's hardly necessary.
I want you to take me home, Doctor.
Very well, since you insist.
Well, this is better. Oh, look at me. I do look foul. I'll get that filthy little Laurier girl sacked. I gave them something to think about, didn't I? I simply went wild. Well, go on, Doctor. Laugh. It was priceless.
It wasn't at all funny. It was a very bad case of willful hysteria. I'd advise you to take yourself seriously in hand. Go straight to bed and call your own doctor.
Well, why won't you look after me? I hate my doctor. He's always telling me not to drink or smoke or anything.
I'm afraid I should give you exactly the same advice.
I mightn't mind it as much from you. Might I give you a bit of advice?
If you wish.
Are you anxious to make a success as a doctor?
Well, naturally.
Then go and see a good tailor.
I don't see how that would help. Goodbye.
Where does one reach you, Dr. Manson?
I'm in the phone book.
Don't give up your line of treatment, Doctor, on any account. I foresee a crashing success. Goodbye.
Women. Women like that. Oh, I beg your pardon, sir. Freddie Parker!
Scruffy Manson, of all people, what are you doing in London?
I've bought a practice.
Have you, by Jove? Well, must be a good one if it brings you here, in this lair of the filthy wealthy.
Nothing so grand.
Well, why on earth haven't you called me? You knew I'd want to see you after all those years together at Edinburgh.
Well,
Who's your patient? In these flats, I mean.
I don't know. Miss Leroy, I believe.
Oh, that's good. You always were a queer one. A great professional man, Andrew. Indifference. A Miss Leroy, I believe. And she's only the richest girl in London.
Well, Chris, well?
Well, what?
Well, now that you've met them, Freddie and Mr. Ivory, the surgeon, all of them, what do you think?
Oh, they're all perfect gentlemen. What bedside manners.
Haven't they, though? Ivory in his Harley Street clothes. I'll bet he operates in a frock coat.
Oh, white tie and tails in the evening.
I'd like to see him or Freddie operate on a kitchen table in Glenacklin or amputating a mine with the roof falling down.
I wouldn't.
Chris, they think I'm just a small-town doctor.
You're a good doctor.
I'm sick of having men like that look down on me as if I were a poor relation. I'm going to beat these smoothies at their own game. You just wait.
Good ball, old man. Very good indeed. Your shot, Andrew.
What? Oh, yes.
Good shot, Andrew. Where's yours, Ivory?
A few yards farther along.
It's a marvelous game, golf. Absolute privacy. Oh, by the way, Andrew, I'm sending a senile old Mrs. Lane along to you tomorrow. Told her she should see a good lung man. Have a look at her.
I will indeed.
Oh, and I say, you chaps, I ordered one of those new iridium lamps today. Something around £80.
That ought to pay for his keep.
Did you see Abby's paper in the journal on bogus heliotherapy? Those iridiums have absolutely no infrared content.
They've got a lot of 3 Guinea content. And besides, they give a marvelous suntan.
That's true, but honestly, Parker, you'll find nothing beats the good old hypo when it comes to fees. Whenever a patient sees you begin the swabbing and sterilizing that comes with injections, she thinks instinctively, heavens, this is going to mean money.
You'll notice, Andrew, how Ivory's passing of the good word patient is usually feminine. Oh, well. 4.
Dr. Andrew, why can't you come to dinner? There's absolutely nothing on your pad but someone named Stillman. Mr. Richard Stillman.
Good Lord, I'd forgotten the American lung specialist.
And a mister. He's not even a doctor.
That's nothing to do with it. He's developed the most successful TB clinic in the world. Now you run along, and I'll try to see you tonight. Go on now.
Well, some stuffy American's more important than I am. Goodbye, Dr. Andrew.
Goodbye, Miss Leroy. Mr. Stillman, won't you come in?
Dr. Manson, I've been promising myself this pleasure for a long time. I hardly expected to find you in Harley Street.
Well, we never know where we'll end up, do we? Sit down.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you here. What can I do for you?
Not a thing. I called to tell you how much I appreciated your paper on dust inhalation and silicosis and its effect on the lungs.
That is nice of you.
It's too bad that one who showed such original promise in that work couldn't go on with it.
Yes, I suppose so. But doctors must live, you know. What brings you to England?
You're Sir Herbert Cranston. The man who makes those wonderful little automobiles has built me a small clinic in the country outside London.
Oh.
Yes, we cured him of asthma at our place in Oregon. He seems to think England can use our methods.
Well, that's splendid. But watch out for the medical council.
I don't think they'll bother me.
Pardon me a moment.
Yes, of course.
Yes? Oh, well, ask Lady Farnham to wait a few moments, nurse. And tell Mrs. Partington Smith that I'll be glad to see her tomorrow, and we won't charge her for today.
Hey, you're busy. I'd better be off. I'd like a real talk with you sometime.
I'm awfully sorry. I'm always swamped during consultation hours.
Yeah. Come out and see our place sometime. I'll show you our apparatus.
Uh-huh.
Well, goodbye.
Thank you, sir, and goodbye.
Just
had the hand on the doorbell and the door opens. By magic, no doubt.
Denny!
Manson and Chris.
Oh, Denny.
Come in. Where have you been?
Doing 16 operations a day in the slums of Leeds. Chris, let me look at you. Ah, prettier than ever.
Get along with you and me, a married woman.
This is a very grand place. I'm sure I haven't made a mistake. This well-dressed gentleman is Dr. Manson.
It is, indeed. And for you, he prescribes a drink.
I'm sorry, I'm a lemon squash man. Now, I've found that real surgery and alcohol don't mix.
Say, we've a new car, Denny. We're just going to try it. Come along, won't you?
And you know where? To Mrs. Schmidt.
Yes.
Oh, Denny will love those special sandwiches.
Special sandwiches? Your motor car? You don't sound like the bloke what blew up a sewer with me.
Mrs. Schmidt? Oh, hello, Mrs. Schmidt.
Mrs. Manson and the doctor. How are you? It has been such a long time.
This is our special friend, Dr. Denny, and we want him to have one of your specials.
But of course, sit down, be comfortable.
Denny, this place has the best chicken paprika in all England. Come on, we'll fix our own hors d'oeuvres.
Fix them yourself, my fine fellow. I'm staying here to talk with all this youth and beauty.
Philip Denny, you haven't changed one little bit.
Oh, doctor, we are so proud of your success. Everyone in the neighborhood. When you first came here, we knew you would get ahead.
Well, that's funny. I didn't. Where's Clara?
Oh, Clara is in Victoria Hospital. Some trouble with her chest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't like for my Clara to go in a ward with all those others. But we cannot afford a nursing home.
Well, Victoria's a good place. Who's looking after her?
The Dr. Thorogood.
Oh, an excellent man.
Of course, Doctor, when Clara got sick, we didn't like to come to you because we know how busy you are and everything, but...
Look, my favorite lip tower. Remember?
Yes, of course I remember.
Oh, Chris! Don't worry, Mr. Schmidt. Clara will be all right, I'm sure. You've got a good doctor. Oh, Chris! Our favorite lip tower. Taste this, Denny.
Will you listen now?
Of course I listen, old man. Sound off.
Well, I don't know how you find it, but I'm so sick of the antiquated, crooked methods of most of our honored colleagues, I could howl.
All right, my lad, all right. How are you going to cure all the wrongs of medical practice?
By starting a clinic, a genuine team of doctors, all specialists. I'm the surgeon.
Where's the money coming from?
We're all chipping in what we have. Now, we start with groups of people, a small fee each month, enough to live on. When they get sick, we furnish everything.
The medical council will fight it as cut-rate medicine.
Of course they will. The other doctors will try to lynch us, but we'll lick 'em. For once in this country, the patient is going to come before the doctor, and that's a complete revolution in our medical system.
Oh, it sounds grand.
It is grand. Andrew, we need you for chest
But
work.
look, Denny, I've got a grand practice. I can't just throw it away.
Won't you even consider?
How can
Will there
I?
be anything else?
Chicken paprika.
Something to drink?
Yes, by Harry. Can you get me a bottle of whiskey?
I think a picnic was a wonderful idea, Chris.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, yesterday, Denny said you used to look on medicine as an attack on the unknown, an assault uphill, as though you had to take some citadel you couldn't see.
That's all very well for Denny, but I have a practice to think of, one that's making us rich.
But do we want to be rich? I don't like your new ideas about medicine. And I don't like your not being the Andrew Manson I married.
So, there you are. The prosperous Dr. Manson.
Denny, were you waiting for us?
Oh, Denny, you've been drinking.
I've been waiting to tell you something I couldn't quite say. Sober. At Rhinelander, you had hope in your eyes and courage in your heart. I gave you a microscope, I believe. Not just to make you a gift, but because it stood for the things you believed in. There will always be mean souls in this world. It hurts more deeply than you'll ever know when a friend increases their number. Goodbye.
Oh, he left the window open again. like some tea?
No, thanks. What's that confounded racket down there?
There's been an accident. Andrew! Andrew! It looks like Denny!
Can't you go a little faster, Ivory?
If we can stop his internal bleeding, his other injuries aren't serious. Clamp, please. Swab.
I wish you could hurry. His pulse is very low. What about a transfusion?
We can't stop at this stage for that. Swab, please.
Nurse, adrenaline hypo. Quick.
I'm sorry, Manson. These accident cases are always difficult. Cigarette? Has he been your patient long?
Stop talking, can't you? You know you killed him. You're not a surgeon. You never were.
I don't recommend that line of talk.
Of course
Manson.
you don't. It's the truth. There was nothing difficult about this, but you dallied along with incompetence. You let him die.
Pull yourself together, you fool. You'll be hurt.
What if I am? You know it's the truth as well as I do. That wasn't surgery. It was murder.
Andrew, what happened? Is he...
Denny's gone. He's butchered. Ivory killed him.
Oh. Andrew, where are you going?
I don't know.
Dr. Manson. Dr. Manson, why are you standing on Waterloo Bridge, Dr. Manson? Were you thinking of jumping, Dr. Manson? That's very negative, you know.
Denny said, like an assault uphill to take a sort of citadel you couldn't see. A citadel, Andrew. A citadel you couldn't see.
Go back to being a doctor, Dr. Manson. That title meant something to you once, you know, back in the days when we blew up that sewer.
Mrs. Schmidt, what hospital did you say Clara was in?
Victoria, Doctor.
Come with me.
This is her bed, Dr. Manson.
It's Dr. Manson, Clara. Let me examine you a minute. That lung should have been tapped days ago. If it isn't done at once, she'll die. Help me with this blanket, Mrs. Schmidt. Don't worry. She'll be all right. But we have to get her out of here.
Whatever you say, Doctor.
Keep her covered. I'll carry her.
I see. What does this mean? Are you a doctor?
Yes, I'm a doctor.
Where are you taking my patient?
To the Stillman Clinic.
She's my patient. I forbid such unethical behavior.
Mrs. Schmidt, was this man Clara's doctor?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with his work?
No.
Do you wish me to take the case?
Oh, yes.
Dr. Thorogood, get out of my way.
Did you or did you not serve as the anesthetist at an operation performed by an unlicensed individual in the so-called Stillman Clinic?
Yes, I did that infamous thing to save a life. I took Clara Schmidt to Stillman. What if he is unregistered? He's an originator, a thinker.
You stand here on charges before the Medical Council of the City of London, and you admit that you knew he was not a doctor?
Louis Pasteur, the greatest figure in scientific medicine, was not a doctor, nor was Ehrlich, nor Hafkin, who fought the plague in India better than any qualified man has ever done, nor Metchnikoff, inferior only to Pasteur.
Are we to take it that you place Richard Stillman beside such men?
I do, Dr. Boone, I do. And I have more to say. Instead of going on trying to make out that everything's wrong outside the medical profession and everything's right within, it's high time we started putting our own house in order. There are a great many doctors practicing fairly, sir. But too many go in for useless money-chasing treatments, unnecessary operations, and fee-splitting. Doctors have to live, but they have a responsibility to mankind, too, and they dodge it. Why should the poor be neglected? They have minds and hearts and souls. Their pains hurt as much as any stockbrokers. We say we'll alter things, but we don't. I know I've made plenty of mistakes, and I regret them, but I made no mistake with Richard Stillman. Look at my patient. If you want any justification of my infamous conduct, there it is.
Andrew, my dear.
It's all right. Whatever they do, it won't matter.
Andrew, here.
Look,
What?
the plans for the clinic. Mr. Stillman took me to his automobile manufacturer.
Cranston?
Yes, and he approved the plans. He'll put up all the money we can't furnish ourselves. And he likes the name.
What name?
I told him we'd like to call it the Philip Denny Memorial Clinic.
And so ends The Citadel from the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer film success adapted for radio by Ira Marion. Original music composed and conducted by Joe O'Heron. The program was directed by Marks B. Loeb and produced by Raymond Katz. The supporting cast included Ivor Franks and James Monks, while as Andrew and Chris Manson, you heard Frederick March and Florence Eldridge. 1 week from tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the General Motors Hour will originate from Melbourne with the production of the absorbing modern English drama, Message for Margaret. It's the story of a tragic and tormenting crisis in a woman's life, a crisis which threatens to destroy her self-respect and rob her of her peace of mind. When David Hayden is killed in a street accident, he leaves a message for Margaret. But is it intended for his wife or for the woman with whom he's been in love for the past 2 years? Both bear the same name. The wife's burning need to find the solution to this agonizing query brings the two women together in a relationship which sweeps to a powerful climax. In the role of Margaret Hayden, the wife, we present one of Australia's leading actresses, one of our most firmly established radio stars, Patricia Kennedy. You know, making mistakes can be a legitimate subject for humor when woven into the plot of a play. But too often, errors can be far from comic. They can mean tragedy. Errors made on our busy highways, for instance, are never sources of amusement, and usually they're only caused by bad manners or just plain carelessness. Eliminate errors on your part by always being alert and keeping in mind the golden rule of the road. Treat all others on the road the way you'd like them to treat you. And don't forget, 1 week from tonight, Message for Margaret, starring Patricia Kennedy. Until then, this is Harry Dirth saying good night to you all from the General Motors Hour.
This is the General Motors Hour signing off from the Macquarie Network and cooperating stations throughout Australia.
Elephant Walk. Based on the best-selling novel by Robert Standish, dramatized and directed by Morris West. This program is transcribed on Microgroove, an Australasian radio production.
When the old master died, his son George Carey became the Lord of Elephant Walk, and I, Apuhami, became his steward. For years my master governed the estate alone. Then he took into his employ a manager. He was an Englishman. His name was Geoffrey Wilding, and he lived in a bungalow near the fringe of the plantations. Then my master left the estate for a visit to England. And when next his friends heard of him, they were surprised and shocked.
Gentlemen, your attention, please.
Attention, please.
Our honourable secretary, Mr. John Gilliland, wants to shoot off his mouth.
And he always likes a formal opening.
Not so loud, young Wilding. Gilly doesn't like brash young men either.
Gentlemen, fellow members of the Ratnagala Gun Club, I have some very bad news. With your permission, I'll read it to you.
Oh, go ahead, Gilly. You make it sound like Mark Antony's oration. Oh, go on, man, read it.
The communication is brief. It says, to the Secretary, Ratnagala Gun Club, herewith, please find my personal cheque for 500 rupees in accordance with rule number 17. Regards, George Carey.
What's he talking about? What is rule number 17, Gilly? I didn't know there were any rules at all. No one's ever shown me any.
You're a very young member of the club, Mr. Wilding. So you would hardly be expected to know that any member of the club who's such a purblind, crass idiot and damned fool as to permit himself to be bamboozled into marriage pays the club 500 rupees.
Yeah, then that means that George Carey has got himself married.
That's right, Robbie. George Carey is married.
Well, that's the first I've heard of it, and I'm his manager.
You know George Carey. His first duty is to the members of his club.
Holy smoke. A woman at Elephant Walk. And poor old George of all people. If it had been one of the young fellas, I could have understood it. When I was about 25, I nearly made a fool of myself during Colombo Race Week. Would have done too. Only old George Carey nipped in just in time and told the bride's mother that I had 5 illegitimate children and there was insanity in my family. It was a damn lie, too. I only had 3, and drink's the only trouble in my family. However, old George saved me. I wish to God now I'd taken a spot of leave and gone home with him. If I'd been there, I could have saved him from this.
Damn it all, Robbie, you're being a bit hard on the girl, aren't you? You haven't even met her yet. For all you know, she might be a very nice girl and all that sort of thing.
No, I don't doubt she'll be nice. Why else would George want to marry her? First thing you know, she'll be giving tea parties on the lawn at Elephant Walk and wanting us to come to dinner in boiled shirts and dinner jackets.
Aye, and then she'll be asking all her girlfriends out to stay with her. All the plain ones, that is. And they'll come out in droves, looking for husbands. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Yes, got something here, too. Well, at least we've got George's 500 rupees. Let's have a drink on it. Boy, set him up.
You know, all jokes aside, I'm not so sure that a few women in the district wouldn't liven things up. God knows there's not much social life in Ratnagala.
Oh, she'll liven things up all right. Sure, she'll liven them up. Yesterday you had 1 boss, Wilding. Soon you'll have 2. And I hope you like it.
This has hit me hard. I feel like weeping into my whiskey. George and I have been friends for a long while, and Elephant Walk has been a second home to me. Apahami knows all my likes and dislikes. And only a few weeks before George sailed, my new girl remade all the curtains in my bedroom there.
Oh, come on, Robbie, cheer up. Let's have a couple of sets of tennis.
No, thank you, Wilding. I'll just sit here and get solemnly drunk. A woman at Elephant Walk. That's like the end of the world.
Apuhami! Apuhami!
I am here, Master Wilding.
Oh. You know, Apuhami, that Master Carey will be arriving in a couple of days with his wife.
I know that, yes.
Well, I think we should arrange something special by way of reception and welcome, eh?
Everything is already arranged, Master Wilding.
What? What's that you said?
Everything is already arranged, Master.
But you've had no instructions from me?
The instructions were given many years ago, Master, when the old Master, Tom Carey, was still alive. He was to bring his own woman home, but she died. So now, when his son comes home with his wife, everything will be as the old Master arranged it.
Oh, I see. Did Master George leave any instructions of his own?
That was not necessary. Master George knows the mind of the old Master as I do. Besides, I have spoken with the old Master myself.
You've spoken with the old Master?
Every night I walk down to his grave beyond the garden. I stand there and talk to him. I tell him what passes at Elephant Walk, and he speaks to me.
And what does the old master think of this marriage of his son?
He hopes that his son has chosen a good woman. He hopes the woman will do honor to Elephant Walk.
Oh, I see. I wonder...
Oh, yes, master?
I wonder if the new woman will agree with the old master.
I think we'd better turn in, Ruth, my dear. It's an all-night journey to Banderawella. That's the terminus. And then we have a 3-hour ride up to Elephant Walk. Yes, you'll need all the sleep you can get.
I'm afraid I'm too excited to sleep. Tell me, George, do you think they'll like me at Elephant Walk?
Like you? Why, my dear, it'll be the biggest event in their lives. The first woman ever to live at Elephant Walk.
That's rather what I mean, George. Your own people will welcome me, yes. They're your servants, members of your household. But what about your friends? The other planters? None of them are married, are they?
No, but that's why you'll be a little ray of sunshine in their lives.
I hope so, George. I hope so.
Oh, don't worry a thing about it, my dear. You'll be the queen of Ratnagala.
George?
Yes, my dear.
George, darling, is it true that... Well, that so many of these young men living away from home... Well, that they take native girls to look after them?
Huh? Well, it's not the sort of thing one discusses with nice girls, but... as a matter of fact, they do. You mustn't get the wrong idea. There's no harm in it, really. If they have any kids, they're well looked after. From the woman's point of view, it's quite an honor. But you won't see any of it, my dear, unless... Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Hadn't thought of what, George?
Robbie Norman and Gilly, they come to stay at Elephant Walk quite often, and when they come, they...
Bring their girls with them? Is that right, George?
Oh, well, of course they won't do it while you're there, my dear. So there's nothing to worry about. Nothing at all. No, thoroughly good fellows, both of them. Yeah. Oh, well, good night, my dear. I'm very tired, you know.
Good night, George. Pleasant dreams.
Yes, same to you, my dear. Same to you. The boys are off their game this afternoon. I don't wonder. George Carey arrives tomorrow morning, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. He's on the train now. I'm taking the horses up to Banderawella to meet him. Oh, by the way, I take it all the boys will be coming up to the picnic party. You know the spot, just on the bend of the trail.
Just where old Tom Carey planted it for his wife, eh?
That's right.
Oh, we'll all be there. Unpleasant, but necessary duty.
Did you arrange the picnic, Wilding?
Me? No, I haven't arranged anything. It seems old Tom Carey arranged it all before he died.
Aye, that he did. I hope the girl appreciates it, that's all. You know, I still can't get used to the idea of a woman at Elephant Walk.
You know, you fellas may be women haters, but I'm not. I like the idea of a woman at Elephant Walk.
Me? Robbie Norman, a woman hater? Well, I like that. I've got 3 women, Wilding. How many have you got?
None at all, thanks.
Then you're not qualified to express an opinion on the subject.
Touché, Wilding. By the same token, why don't you do as Rome does and get yourself a nice girl? You never know, it might take that discontented look off your face. Why don't you, Wilding?
First, it's none of your damn business. Second, it's too easy. I've been taught never to shoot a sitting bird. Third, I may be old-fashioned, but if ever I do find a woman, I'd like to find a little romance mixed up with it.
Romance? Romance has nothing to do with it. It was romance that made me leave Aberdeen 25 years ago, and I haven't been back since.
All right, have it your own way. I'm going to get some sleep. I have to leave at 3 in the morning if I'm to meet Carey and his wife.
Ah, there you are, Wilding. Oh, nice of you to come and meet us.
Welcome back, George.
Ruth, my dear, this is my manager, Geoffrey Wilding. Wilding, my wife.
Welcome home, Mrs. Carey.
It's a very nice welcome, Mr. Wilding. Thank you.
Did you bring the horses?
Yes, over here, George. I brought Esmeralda and an extra mount for you.
Oh, good, good. Ruth, darling.
Yes, George. What is it?
Ruth, my dear, this is a homecoming present. I've written Esmeralda for quite a long time. Now I'd like her to be yours. Be good to her, my dear, and she'll be good to you. She's a little tender in the mouth, but you wouldn't find a better mare in the whole of the island. Take her, my dear. She's yours.
Please, George. I couldn't take her from you.
Oh, don't be absurd. She's yours. Take her now. Here, I'll give you a leg up.
Just a moment, George.
What is it?
All these natives. They're staring at me.
Oh, that. Oh, they're staring at you because you're wearing jumpers. They've never seen a woman in trousers before.
For a moment, it made me feel quite odd to have them staring at me like that.
You poor little devil. You'll feel odder still when you get to Elephant Walk.